Pretrial Justice Institute was founded in 1977. It was established as a clearinghouse for information on pretrial justice issues.
Somebody was smart enough to create an institution that would be our holy place.
When we first opened, we had sort of three areas that we were working on, the focus. One was technical assistance, one was research, and the other was conference planning. So I came to the Pretrial Services Resource Center, which of course is now the Pretrial Justice Institute, in 1987. Things have changed dramatically since then. Basically, the way that we were functioning at that time was kind of reacting to the things that were out there. We were going through a period, 2005, 2006, we were going through another one of our rough periods as far as funding. A lot of the funding that was in place earlier had dried up. And that was at the time where Tim Murray took over as director. So he walked into a very, very difficult situation.
We arrived in March of 2006, if you can believe that. We spent, I think, the first 6 months trying to make sure that it didn't go completely out of business and trying to figure out how to take the vision that you had for what the place could be and find folks who are willing to invest in that vision.
He and Sharice working together really did a tremendous job to kind of pull us out of that situation, to give us a new focus, a new energy, a new way of looking at things that I think really made us into what we are today.
I remember quite clearly going around Washington, D.C. to visit all the other nonprofits, and time after time, people would say, "Oh, the Resource Center's still in business? We thought it closed down." And and that broke my heart. And thinking about how to reinvent it included a number of changes, I think. One was to change the name into something that more accurately reflected the work, because the work was changing. We made the deliberate move away from focusing on programs to focusing on systems and communities. The goal was an odd one, I think, and maybe unique to us at that time, in that our goal was to get out of the spotlight, not to be the only people identified with pretrial, but have a whole cast of characters. And so we went after obvious targets like counties, went after chiefs of police, legislatures, chief justices, prosecutors, defenders. They became our targets, but then that raised an issue. How do you pay for that stuff? So we went to philanthropies for the first time, I think, in the history of that organization. Everybody in town told us, don't go to the Jet Foundation. The Jet Foundation isn't going to help you guys. And we went to the Jet Foundation and we snagged them. Getting the Jet Foundation money was needed. The light bill was due.
Yeah.
They said, give me the biggest vision you got and a 3-year plan. And you and I were just cooking like crazy, going, finally, we've hit pay dirt. And then all of a sudden, the bottom falls out of that. And I got an email one Monday morning as I got to work saying, we've closed, there's no money, and if you have a grant coming, don't wait up for it. The Jet Foundation was one of the many victims of the Bernie Madoff scandal.
I remember Googling it because I thought it might be one of those hoax.
I thought it was a joke.
Yeah. Because who would do that? It was like 3 days before Christmas.
I know.
Who would be so cruel?
But we adapted and we persevered. We literally would not take no for an answer.
You are a little stubborn.
We were polite.
Yeah.
We were polite. But if you said no, we'd say, okay, see you in a few minutes.
That's right.
And we just didn't give up. Police chiefs did start putting out publications and talking about this stuff. Chief justices did start taking national stands. And we pulled off probably the coup of the century.
This symposium marks an important step forward in what I know and what I pledge will be an ongoing conversation about how we can achieve safe and fair pretrial release and diversion practices in our communities, and in so doing, make our justice system both more effective and more efficient.
That is a cornerstone event. And it is one that I think actually marked a turning point for this work. Created a push that a lot of people realized they needed to be part of. I think one of the reasons that PJI stands on such strong legs is we went after this as a systemic issue, not as a bail issue.
I actually feel like part of the future mandate of PJI is to return to our roots as providing sort of the highest quality technical assistance and training to the field.
10 years ago, even if a pretrial program wanted to improve, it wasn't possible because they worked in a context where reform wasn't seen as an improvement in regards to public safety or fiscal efficiency. Now they can aspire to national standards, and more jurisdictions are demanding that their programs work up to the goals and ideals that have been promulgated by the Pretrial Justice Institute. And now, more than at any other time in history, is when they need the help to do so, to bring these visions into reality.